And so we have this story where Esther has been chosen. She's living among them. There's a preparation period that happens where she's changing from who she was, woman on the street, to eventually queen, right? There's a process between those two things. Those two things are not the same thing in culture or in society, right? They're not things. But now, the king, he obviously knows he can't just marry anybody, right? And when you really look at it, and if you have criteria about who you want to marry, right? If it matters who you want to marry, then you'll apply some criteria to that, right? You'll begin to say, hey, things have to be this or that, or check this or that. They can't be just willy-nilly, right? It has to be a criteria when you're really concerned about his. So Esther, she's summoned there. She's summoned in the castle. She's placed in the charge of others. The king is providing all of this thing. There's some people that are assigned to her. She's given 6 months of oil treatments and 6 months of cosmetic treatments, like an entire year process of learning. Now, we learned, just even reading back the Babylonians, back to Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when they show up, they have to go through a learning. They have to be assimilated into Babylonian culture from where they were, right? So they have, and they were taken, and they were schooled, and they were fed, and they were held, and they were learned, and they did all this stuff to grow and adapt to the Babylonian culture from their culture in Israel. The same thing, and this is their process, the same thing she is doing here. She is coming from the street, a young Jewish woman, and many other different nationalities and they're taking them from their nationality, and they're training them and getting her ready to be the queen, because there's some things that she needs to know when she becomes queen. And so there's this process that needs to happen. There's a thing that has to go from one to the other. We don't just go from this side all the way to being the queen of the country, right? Especially of this large nation that they have. So part of it was a physical transformation, part of it was an educational transformation for her, and there was some things she needed to learn, right?